Welcome everybody, Josh here, back at it today with a brand new, I guess you could say, commentary video. Today we're going to be discussing, do you need to upgrade Final Draft? So every couple of years, Final Draft comes out with a new iteration of the software. I've had Final Draft 9, I've had Final Draft 10, I've had Final Draft 11, and I do currently have Final Draft 12. And the reason why I kind of upgraded those softwares is because each iteration tends to get a little bit better. It's kind of like with the Apple iPhone, where over time they kind of change some stuff within the software itself and make it a little bit more convenient to use, especially with sort of the added quality of the video camera and some of the apps that are in the App Store. And Final Draft is kind of similar, and I think that if you are looking at buying a screenwriting software to kind of get into writing screenplays for Hollywood, which is what I tend to do as a side hobby, something that I really love doing just because of the fact that I like telling stories, I like writing my own screenplays and creating worlds of my own. I've been kind of into that sort of thing ever since I was a kid, and I think that with the modern era, being able to kind of work with the same tools as Hollywood does for their own motion pictures is really, really cool. This is stuff that Carrie Fisher has used, J.J. Abrams has used. A lot of these modern day Hollywood companies use Final Draft just because of the fact that it's easy to use. It sets up basically the screenplay format that you should be using for your final version of your script, which is why it's called Final Draft. And I think it's overall a really, really great product. Now, this is not going to be a review of the product itself, I guess you could say, but it's mostly for screenwriters who are new to sort of the whole subject matter. They're kind of wondering, should you actually, upgrade the software every so often? I personally think that, with the purchase of Final Draft, the fact that they make it easy for you to upgrade for like $70 compared to just rebuying sort of the whole software itself for a couple hundred like I've done in the past is really cool. But the reason why I kind of did a completely new software bundle is because of the fact that I wanted to test it out, maybe do multiple different videos for you guys on this channel, kind of see what's new about sort of the whole software itself, and then compare and contrast the different versions. But I think for the future, I'm not going to be buying every single iteration that comes out. I think that I'm going to maybe upgrade once there's a new and cool feature that everybody's talking about within the industry. I don't think that as a writer, what I did in the past, which was upgrade from every single version. I think that if you have one version of Final Draft and you're actually continuously writing screenplays and kind of keeping consistency with writing your scripts, I think that you're going to have a really good time with this software as a whole. And I think that it's not going to matter whether you're using an old version of Final Draft or screenwriting software that is currently up to date. I think that so long as you have a screenwriting software, using it and turning out pages, which is fairly easy to do with something like Final Draft, is turn out pages of a script, I think that you're going to be fine no matter what software version you're using, because it can translate to other different versions of that software if you so choose to upgrade in the near future. But I don't think it's really that necessary to kind of upgrade Final Draft every single time that they release a new piece of software. I think that the screenwriting software changes are very minimal, to the point where even if they come out with a new updated version of Final Draft, it's not something that you have to go out and buy right away. It's not something that you have to upgrade right away. I think that you can use Final Draft until they come out with a couple more versions of the software, and then you'll be just as fine as somebody that is upgrading their software as time goes on. I don't have all the money in the world right now. I'm kind of doing this as a hobby, as well as doing my YouTube stuff like I kind of stated before. But I think that having sort of the tools of the trade that Hollywood does with their own systems in the industry is pretty great, especially someone that doesn't really live in Hollywood itself. I think that having the tools of the trade here in Minnesota, so that way when I do eventually go back, I can kind of show people this is what I've been doing, this is what I've been working on. I haven't really been in California itself to kind of send in my scripts. There's places to host your screenplays online after you've written them, like the Blacklist, or just entering in screenwriting competitions, which I still have yet to do just because of the fact that I don't currently have steady use of income. But getting to do this stuff while I'm not really working, or like when I am working and I don't really have anything going on and I just want to write a screenplay, is really, really cool. And that's one of the reasons why I still continue to write screenplays and tell new stories and write interesting and creative new worlds, is because I generally do love this as sort of a hobby. And I think that if you're interested in writing screenplays, you don't really need to upgrade each and every different software update that Final Draft does. But it's good to have that option just in case you kind of want to. So those are my final thoughts and opinions of whether or not you need to update Final Draft. I personally don't think you need to. I think that as long as you have one of the older versions, you're pretty much good to go. You don't really have to kind of keep upgrading if you don't want to. And if you do want to, that's totally up to you if you want to spend that money. But given that money's kind of tight for me right now, even if they do launch Final Draft 13 or 14 or 15, I might just wait till they release like 16 or 17 to kind of update my version of Final Draft. But that is neither here nor there. That could definitely change tomorrow, especially if they release something cool that they've added. But as always, guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about updating Final Draft. Are you guys aspiring screenwriters? Do you guys eventually want to get into screenwriting as well? Are you kind of looking at purchasing Final Draft as well as other screenwriting software to kind of up your game in terms of trying to get into Hollywood? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. And as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.